We are coming to you from beautiful Napa, California at the iConexcion HIVE. And with us this evening is Arcelia Gallardo, one of our 40 under 40 honorees. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
We last saw you at our event, the 40 under 40, Latinos to Watch. So what have you been up to since then?
Well, that same night I actually flew out to Belize to look at some cacao farms, meet some cacao growers. So I did that and that was incredible. That was amazing. We met some amazing people that were also traveling there for cacao. And about a week ago I flew to New York and I met with a cacao blogger who calls himself the Cacaoist and studies cacaoism. So look out for the podcast. So I did an interview for him on his podcast, so you can see that interesting interview there. And I also flew to Puerto Rico and I tried to see what the cacao scene was like there, and they have a lot of room for growth, and we would like to see more cacao in Puerto Rico, so hopefully that's a project that I take on at some point. And then I'm here in Napa, so it's been a busy 3 weeks for me.
Tell us a little bit about, the other day we were talking about how you were sampling different types of cacao in Belize. And by the way, everybody I think in our audience during the 40 under 40 event, when you mentioned that I'm going to be flying to Belize right after this event, just got incredibly jealous. It's like, I want to have that life. I want to travel to Belize.
Pros and cons. I mean, I've been incredibly tired for, and not in a good diet for the last 3 weeks, but it's seeing beautiful beaches and meeting new people, definitely, it has its perks as well. Well, in Belize, a part of what I did there was we cut open a lot of cacao beans. So just like in coffee and in wine, cacao has different flavor nuances, and so what we were doing is we were cutting open a lot of cacao beans and we were tasting and we were trying to figure out what the flavor profile was. So does it taste like mushroom? Does it taste like coffee? Does it have a banana, tropical fruit feel? And that was pretty difficult to do, and I'm hoping to take some classes in the near future to be able to do a little bit better at that. If you can imagine, if you do it for the first time, it's like, I don't taste anything but a cacao bean. But the people that do it professionally, they're on it, they taste a cacao bean and they say, oh, this tastes like yogurt and this tastes like mango, and it's like, I wish I could do that, and one day I will, but for now we did a little bit of training in that.
It really sounds fascinating that there's so many elements that could be in this part of cacao,
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are still figuring out how much complex it can be, but for now it's still in the beginning stages, but people are going to start to see chocolate bars with those explanations on them.
Very nice. So tell us, how did you get connected with the blogger, the Cacaoist, in New York?
Well, he was in Belize. He was traveling also there to see what was the cacao making process. He does tours in Manhattan. He is a tour guide for chocolate shops. So you contact him and he takes you all around New York to the chocolate shops, and he explains to you the entire history of chocolate. And so when I was in New York, I emailed him and he said, let's go around town, and we actually went to another chocolate maker that I hadn't met before, and we got a tour of that factory, and he's in Tribeca. It's called Fika, and which is Swedish for coffee break. And so it's just amazing to meet all these chocolate makers from all over the world. So he introduced me to that, and then we did the podcast right by a river, and I guess it was the Hudson River. You can correct me, I don't know. It was a river that went by Tribeca, and so that was beautiful as well. So the last 3 weeks have been filled with beautiful friendships, new connections, and beautiful scenery.
Very good, very good. And so now that you're back here in the Bay Area, now you're going to focus back on business at hand and doing the usual at your store, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, the holiday coming up is Mother's Day, so we'll be revving up for that.
So do you want to tell us the website real quick so that your audience can log on to that?
Yes, you can come to our website, and it's www.casadechocolates.com.
Now you know, audience, please log on to casadechocolates.com and you'll be able to sample or at least view a lot of her
Yeah,
very tasty,
sample.
very tasty chocolates. So
You can come by the store and sample.
That's
We're
right.
always offering samples.
very good. Arcelia, thank you so much for joining us again, and we look forward to following up with you in the near future.